Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Mitchell. I'm a 32-year-old nurse working at Memorial Hospital, and let me tell you a story about my in-laws from hell. You're working Christmas Eve again? We've discussed this, Sarah. My family has traditions, my husband Michael said. Michael, someone has to be there for the patients. You know how short-staffed we are, I replied. Mom's already planning the dinner. She even ordered the special china from Europe. Ah, Barbara Turner and her precious imported china. That's my mother-in-law. Everything in her world has to be perfect, expensive, and exactly how she wants it. Maybe we can celebrate on Christmas Day instead? I suggested, trying to keep the peace. You know that's not how it works in our family. Our family? More like their family. Even after 5 years of marriage, I still felt like an outsider. Michael wasn't always like this. When we first met at a hospital fundraiser where his family was making a big donation, he was different, sweet, understanding, and supportive of my career. Then came the dreaded Sunday dinners. Sarah, darling, Barbara's voice was dripping with fake sweetness. That scrub color makes you look so tired. Have you ever thought about a career change? The Turner family has a reputation to maintain. I love my job, Barbara, I said, forcing a smile, while Richard, my father-in-law, chuckled behind his whiskey glass. Leave her alone, Mom, said Jessica, my sister-in-law, with fake support. Not everyone can be as successful as me in the family business. Yeah, success, handed to her straight out of college when Daddy made her a VP. That night, I called my best friend, Rachel, who also works in the ICU. Girl, you won't believe what Barbara said this time. Let me guess, another dig about your job? Rachel replied. When are you going to stand up to these people? It's complicated, I sighed. Michael has changed. But what, Sarah? He's becoming just like them. I sighed, checking my phone for messages from my dad. His latest scan results were due today. Dad's cancer is getting worse, Rachel. I need to focus on him right now. How's he holding up? She asked. Like a champ, still cracking jokes about grading papers from his hospital bed. He says his students probably prefer him being sick because the substitute isn't as strict. My eyes welled up thinking about him. 25 years teaching high school English, and now he spends his days in and out of chemo. Have you told Michael about the new treatment options? Rachel asked. I tried to, but he was too busy planning his parents' anniversary party, 500 guests. Can you believe it? Meanwhile, Barbara's questioning why I need to visit my dad 3 times a week. That's messed up, Sarah. Tell me about it. Yesterday, Michael actually suggested I tone down my hospital visits because it's affecting our social schedule. Their social schedule, you mean? Rachel corrected. Exactly. God forbid I miss another charity gala to take care of my dying father. The doorbell rang, another delivery for Barbara's over-the-top party. I'd be the one organizing it all, of course. Got to go, Rachel. Time to sort through Barbara's latest essential purchases. Apparently, normal napkin rings aren't good enough for the Turners. Stay strong, girl. Remember, you're worth more than their whole fake designer world, Rachel encouraged. Then the phone call came. Your father's taken a turn for the worse. Sarah, you should come now, the doctor said. The words hit me like a truck. I was in the middle of preparing for yet another Turner family dinner. I'm sorry, I can't make it tonight. My father's condition has worsened. I texted in the family group chat. Barbara's reply was instant. This is absolutely unacceptable. It's Richard's birthday dinner. Moments later, Barbara called me directly. My father could be dying, Barbara. Oh, please, she scoffed. You're being dramatic. He's been dying for months now. I drove to the Turner mansion anyway, to explain in person and grab a few things from Michael's study. The pre-dinner gathering was already in full swing when I arrived. Well, look who decided to grace us with her presence after all, Barbara announced loudly to the room. I'm just here to grab something and explain, I replied, ignoring her snide tone. Suddenly, Barbara shrieked, Has anyone seen my bracelet? I just had it. Jessica smirked. Maybe you should check Sarah's pockets. She did come in here rather suspiciously. I froze. How dare you? I said, shaking with anger. Empty your coat pocket, Sarah, Michael said coldly. You can't be serious, I shot back. If you have nothing to hide, Barbara taunted. Jessica walked straight to where my coat was hanging, reached into the pocket, and pulled something out. Oh my, look what we have here, she said, dangling Barbara's bracelet from her fingers. I felt sick to my stomach. I didn't take it. Someone planted it, I shouted, my voice shaking. Our Sarah, a common thief, Barbara sneered. I always knew she was after our money. Michael, you know I would never, I said, turning to my husband. Save it, Sarah, we all saw you skulking around earlier, he snapped. Skulking? I came here to tell you about my dying father, Michael. I didn't wait for a response. I ran to Michael's study, my mind spinning. Something wasn't right. His phone was on the desk, still unlocked. A text message caught my eye. It was from Jessica. Did you plant it like we discussed? Dad's birthday dinner will be perfect to expose her for what she is. My hands shook as I scrolled through their messages. It was all there, the setup, the plan, everything. But then I saw something even worse. Bank notifications, transfers from my personal account to one I didn't recognize. Looking for something? Michael's voice made me jump. He was standing in the doorway. How much did you steal from me? I asked, furious. Consider it compensation for putting up with your constant hospital visits and your embarrassing career, he said coldly. You're stealing from me because I take care of my dying father and work as a nurse? A Turner doesn't belong in scrubs. Sarah, Mom was right about you all along. Through tears, I called Rachel. Can I stay with you tonight? I asked, my voice breaking. Girl, you can stay as long as you need. What happened? They set me up. Rachel, all of them, and Michael, he's been stealing from me. Send me your location, come straight here, we'll figure this out together, she said. As I drove away from the mansion, my phone buzzed. The family group chat was full of messages. Gold digger. Thief. Always knew she wasn't good enough. But they had no idea. I had screenshots of everything, the setup, the theft, every last message. Later, at Rachel's, I spread the bank records across her dining table. She handed me a coffee as I wiped my tears. Michael stole almost 50 grand from me, Rachel, who knows how much more I haven't even found yet. You need to meet someone, Rachel said. Her name's Amanda, she's a private investigator. When my ex tried to screw me over, I worked with a private investigator named Amanda. She turned out to be a blessing in disguise, sharp as a tack and relentless. These transfers aren't random, Amanda pointed out during our meeting. They're being funneled through shell companies. Classic money laundering. Money laundering? I asked, stunned. Yep, the Turners. Rich folks aren't always clean. Honey, give me 2 weeks, she said confidently. Those 2 weeks changed everything. Amanda dug deep, real deep. Your mother-in-law? She did the same thing to Richard's first wife, Amanda explained. Accused her of stealing jewelry, turned the whole family against her. I found 3 more cases just like it. You're kidding me, I said, shocked. Oh, it gets better. Your husband's secretary, Jennifer? They've been booking business trips together for the past year, same hotels, same dates. I felt sick, but I wasn't surprised, so that's what all the weekend conferences were about. And here's the real kicker, your sister-in-law, Jessica? She's been embezzling company money to fund a nasty cocaine habit, found receipts for rehab stays that Daddy Dearest covered up. While Amanda kept digging, I threw myself into work. My dad's treatment started showing promise, and I even got promoted to head nurse of my unit. One evening, I was at the nurse's station when a voice caught me off guard. Sarah, great work on the Henderson case. I turned to see Marcus Davis, our new hospital administrator. Just doing my job, I said with a smile. Your dedication to your patients is impressive, especially with everything you're going through, he said kindly. You know about that? Small hospital, word gets around. Plus, I've dealt with the Turner family before. They tried to bully their way into getting preferential treatment for Barbara's elective surgery. Sounds like them, I replied, rolling my eyes. Listen, I know this might not be the best timing, but would you like to grab coffee sometime? Just to talk. For the first time in months, I felt a genuine smile creep across my face. I'd like that, I said. Later that week, Amanda called with even more bombs to drop. The Turner family business? It's built on fraud. They've been falsifying investment reports and stealing from their clients' pension funds. And guess who's been helping them cover it up? Your husband's law firm. Holy, I muttered, my heart racing. And that's not all. Remember that charity foundation Barbara always brags about? It's a front. They're using it to evade taxes. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Those mandatory family dinners? They're actually business meetings, to keep everyone in line and their stories straight. The perfect trap. Everyone's forced to be complicit, I realized aloud. Exactly, Amanda said. Oh, and Jessica's been forging checks from the company account. Most of her salary? Cocaine money. My phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. Coffee tomorrow? For once, I didn't feel guilty about saying yes. Let the Turners play their games. Their house of cards was about to come crashing down, and I wouldn't even have to lift a finger. Amanda, I said, keep digging. I want everything documented. Already on it. By the way, that bracelet Barbara accused you of stealing? I found the receipt. It's a fake, just like everything else about them. I laughed for the first time in weeks. Sometimes karma just needs a little help from a good PI. Turner family's fraudulent business empire crumbles under federal investigation. I read the headline on my tablet while sitting in my favorite coffee shop. My divorce papers had already been filed, along with all the evidence of Michael's financial abuse. Funny how the mighty fall. One anonymous tip to the IRS about their shady business practices was all it took. Sarah, did you see the news? Rachel rushed in, waving her phone. Barbara Turner just got kicked off 3 charity boards. Someone leaked her history of false accusations against family members. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person, I replied with a smirk, thinking back to the fake bracelet incident. My phone buzzed again, a text from Amanda. Jessica's drug scandal just hit the papers. She was stealing company money to support her habit. Richard's trying to cover it up, but the feds are all over it. Michael's downfall came next. Turner law firm partner Michael Turner disbarred. The headlines read. Marcus summed it up perfectly later. Your ex-husband is facing serious charges, money laundering, fraud, embezzlement. And don't forget stealing from my personal accounts, I added, though that's probably the least of his problems now. At the hospital, my new role as head nurse kept me busy, but I didn't mind. Unlike the Turners, I'd earned my success honestly. I visited my dad later that day. He looked better, his color returning, the new treatment working wonders. How are you feeling, Dad? Strong enough to enjoy watching the Turners' empire collapse, he said with a grin. Richard Turner, arrested on federal charges, I said. The whole family's going down. Jessica's in rehab, Michael's disbarred, Barbara's a social pariah, their mansion's been seized, assets frozen, clients are suing, and their social circles want nothing to do with them. Barbara's precious weekly dinners? Now she's lucky if anyone returns her calls. They tried to destroy you, Dad said, his voice full of pride, called you a thief, tried to ruin your reputation, stole from you. Look at you now. I smiled, holding his hand. Successful, respected, happy. While they were facing jail time, I knew the best revenge was living well. That, and having a daughter smart enough to document everything and know exactly when to let karma take its course, Dad said with a proud smile. I couldn't help but grin, thinking about that anonymous tip to the IRS. Sometimes justice doesn't need a big push, just a small nudge in the right direction. Want to grab dinner? Dad asked. I'm finally feeling up to trying that new place downtown. Sure, I replied, texting Marcus. He might want to join us. As we left the hospital, my phone buzzed with another news alert. Turner family business declares bankruptcy. I clicked my phone off. I had better things to focus on, my career, my father's health, and my future with Marcus. The Turners could deal with their karma. I was too busy living my best life to care anymore. What would you do if you found out your spouse not only sided with their toxic family to falsely accuse you of theft, but was also secretly stealing your money while you cared for your dying father? Would you expose them immediately or quietly collect evidence like I did? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to hear how you'd handle such betrayal from someone who was supposed to have your back. If you enjoyed my story about karma and justice, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories about dealing with toxic people and coming out stronger. Remember, sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about letting people face the natural consequences of their actions while you focus on building your best life.